Hello, everybody. Here I am with the latest boxing cheat. Slaven Boxing Haven. Unfortunately, Joshua couldn't be with us today. He has some business to attend to. All right, so in this here uh, boxing cheat, we will discuss the fights of last night. Yes, I was fortunately able to catch the Sky Sports boxing card last night. Even though I didn't see all the fights, but I saw the biggest one, big ones. Yes. um. Yeah. Let's wait until maybe somebody comes. Yeah. Well, first of all, Richard Riakporhe was rather impressive against Krzysztof Glowatsky. Even though Glowatsky is obviously, well past his prime now, and he still did offer some resistance, but he was rather easily overpowered and stopped in the fourth round. Yes. Yeah, I think I like the way Richard Riakporhe fights, and he may not be, well, I don't know. He's a pretty hard hitter, but I don't know if he hits as hard as Okoli anyway, but he stopped Glovatsky because Okoli knocked out Glovatsky with one shot, I believe, but that was in 6 rounds. And Riakporhe stopped Glovatsky in the fourth, but with coming a barrage. Well, anyway, all right, here we are getting a little bit more people. I see. Nice. Yes, Richard Yakpo. Before that, I watched Echo Essuman versus, what's the other guy's name? Congo something. That was a pretty good fight as well. Yes, Chris Congo. So, yeah, that was a pretty close fight, yes. In the end, Essuman got the decision, even though I know the score. I don't know if it was who it was, had it even. And I thought probably it should have been a draw, but Essuman is fighting, out of United Kingdom, even though he's from Botswana. Well, Chris Congo is also from United Kingdom, actually, but yeah. So this was for British Commonwealth, IBF European, and WBC International welter title, silver welter title. All right, yeah. So that was a good fight, yeah. I mean, Congo was pretty. He was had more success early on. Kind of hurt Essuman, I think, in the second round, but Essuman came on. All right, and then I already mentioned Richard Riakpo versus Krzysztof Glowatsky. Yeah, that was just a good performance by Richard, and he is expecting to get a title shot this year, maybe against Okoli or maybe someone else. He was calling out all the champions, J.O. Petaya and Makabu and Gulamirian, yeah. So yeah, it was a nice performance by Riakporhe. I can definitely see him winning a world title, in the future. But I didn't know he's already 33 years old. That means he doesn't have that much time, too much time to become a champion. Well, I believe Okoli is also kind of, in his 30s already. Let's see. Both guys are equally tall and all that, even though, as I said, Okoli is 30, all right. Okoli may hit a little harder, maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah, probably. But Akpor has really some good boxing, skills, and I like the way he was, putting his punches together last night. Yes. All right. And yeah, that was the second main fight. I believe also there but it wasn't on the same card. Joseph Parker was fighting, I believe. I didn't see that fight. Must have been on some other. Uh, well, he beat Jack Massey by on points. All right. No, it was on the same card. All right. Well, it was earlier, and I didn't catch it. Well, doesn't look. Hey, Hi Fi. How are you doing? Shout out to Hi Fi. It doesn't look like I missed a lot because Parker wasn't able to stop a cruiserweight, natural cruiserweight. Since he's really damaged goods now. Yeah, nice to have you on board, man. Yeah, Richard. All right, let's go to the big fight, and it was a rather huge upset. Liam Smith. Wow, he stopped Chris Eubank Jr. in the fourth round. Man, I really couldn't see that coming. I thought, if anybody was going to score a knockout, it would be Eubank Jr. But I don't know whether it was that because Eubank is no longer at his prime or whatever. Hasn't fought also for almost a year before this. Or maybe just simply Liam managed to land the right punches. That too, I think. But yeah, that was a major, upset. I mean, wow. Even those of us who thought that Liam could win could never have, expected this kind of victory, so soon in the fight. And what else? Yeah, I mean, I saw the poll, before the fight on YouTube on this stream, and like 67, I believe, at least percent thought that Eubank was going to win. Oh man, that was wow. And it wasn't late in the round either. It was like after 1 minute. And Eubank seemed like, I don't know if he was confused or whatever, but after the stoppage, he kind of almost charged at Smith and like raised his arm ready to punch him. I don't know whether he was confused. Maybe he didn't know whether, if the fight was over. So that's a pretty bad sign, there. But yeah, after the fight, he was very gracious, in the interview, and yeah, yes, Liam Smith really deserves all the credit for his victory. I mean, I think many people were writing him off and unjustly, simply because Eubank had been in there against. I mean, he had been a world champion and stuff. Has been in there against maybe better fighters, or yeah, well, against more elite level fighters anyway. Liam Smith has been there in there against Canelo and Munguia, and that's pretty much it, I guess. Jesse Vargas, well, he was already, no longer at his prime. So, yeah. So now, yeah, there's gonna be Chris Eubank Jr. wants a rematch. Yeah. Well, I kind of don't see the point with that. I don't know what you think, but what you think, even though he was kind of taken by surprise, he still lost. The way he lost was rather devastating. It wasn't like he had been. I don't know. It wasn't a premature stoppage or anything. He wasn't able to get on his feet in time. And I mean, he got on his feet, but then he just kind of crumpled. So yeah. mm, Liam Smith seems to have grown into 160 very nicely, and because I didn't think that he could hit so hard at 160. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, obviously, he's to be frank, he should retire. I don't think that he should go on fighting anymore. And I mean, to suffer such a knockout like he did against Joyce, that can really, at the age that he is also, I think he's around 32, 3, something like that. It has obviously hurt him, damaged him, and yeah, simple as that. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what Joseph Parker will do in future, but I don't think he can fight the way he used to fight. You know, like 2, 3, 4 years ago. Yeah, and he never was in this today's heavyweight scene. He's not particularly big, doesn't hit particularly hard. He's a good fighter, all in all. He's good. His boxing skills and all that. He's a tough guy, but it's always hard for guys like him to win, against top ranked heavyweights today, because they are usually bigger, hit harder, and stuff like that. Yeah. But back to Liam Smith. I am really thrilled with his victory because I think Eubank was simply doing a little too much smugness, smiling, like grinning at him, and like he was like some superstar, and Liam was a nobody, more or less. So I don't like that kind of behavior. So this has taught him a lesson. Obviously, it has, yeah. So I like him as a fighter simply because he works hard. He brings it, in the ring. He doesn't fight boring or cautiously, like a chicken. He is just you could see, and he's got just good manners, how you say it, with his upbringing, which wasn't that easy as far as I can tell. He lost his parents rather early, I believe, and yeah, he always has his brothers, of course, there to back him, and Callum was there walking in the ring with him and in the ring after the fight and everything. And Liam and Callum are really probably my favorite British fighters at the moment, along with Fabio Wardley. Yeah, I would say so, definitely. Is there anybody else? Well, as I said, Richard Riakporhe looks good. I mean, as a fighter, um, yeah, Richard Riakporhe versus Okolish is a fight that should be made soon. Definitely. Joseph, yeah. All right. What else do you have to say? Hmm. And when it comes to the rematch between Liam Smith and Eubank, if it happens, which probably will. I don't see Eubank doing much better. I mean, he was getting tagged also before the knockout. In the first round already, he was tagged pretty good a few times, and he has the boxing pedigree, but he's already been, the whole thing with Conor Ben and all that has kind of obviously put a dent in him, having to lose so much weight and then, you know, going back and, yeah, obviously has, well, there aren't that many people online. Hopefully there will be more eventually. And then we can talk about what we have next week. Yeah, next week the big fight is Arthur Beterbiev versus Anthony Yard. That's a nice one. We also have Artem Dalakian, yeah, versus David Jimenez. Let's look at it. Jimenez is from Costa Rica, 12-0, 9 knockouts. Artem Dalakian is very good fighter. He is born in Azerbaijan, but fights for Ukraine, or he lives or used to live, maybe, I don't know, Kiev. So he's the WBA flyweight champion. Yes, has been for a while now, actually. Yeah, he made 2, 3, 4, 5 defenses. Wow, already nice. And David Jimenez, yeah, I don't know anything about him. Well, anyway, Arthur Beterbiev versus Anthony Yard. That's a really cracking fight, people. It's also gonna happen on Wembley. Nice. Beterbiev has now, it's now been 7 months since his last fight, and he's 38. So I wonder, how he will look in this fight, because, I mean, who knows? Maybe he is aged overnight, so to speak. I don't know. Probably not, but I wouldn't say that Yard. I mean, we have seen, right, many upsets in the past couple of years. Well, things things we never thought we would see happen in the ring, right? I mean, one of them happened last night, even for crying out loud. So, to be frank, I think Anthony Yard can knock out Arthur Beterbiev, definitely. Why not? Who says so? Who says he can't? Tell me why. Why not? He has the power. He has everything. He has the ability to do that. The thing is that I think too many fighters, and this goes for Joe Smith Jr. perhaps as well, Marcus Brown, all those guys. They don't really. They say before a fight, they say they're gonna bring it, they're gonna knock him out, but then when they go in there, they don't really do that. Well, Anthony Yarr has all the reason to do it, to to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. Because this fight is very important for him. I mean, he's already got 2 losses. I mean, if he loses now, it will be pretty much. It'll be hard to get another big fight, especially for 3 world titles. And Beterbiev, even though he's a wrecking machine, he's bound to get stopped sometime. I mean, he cannot go on forever wrecking people, in the ring. That's what I think. Yes. Oh, hello, Paul. Yeah, I'm afraid it's just me this time. Joshua had some business, some other things to do. Shout out to Paul. Yeah, we are just talking about some fights. I talk about Liam Smith versus Eubank, and also now I'm talking about Beterbiev versus Yard. So take your pick. Yeah, it's do or die. Yeah, definitely. He needs to leave it all on the line. Yeah, definitely. He does. Yeah, I mean, if he has nothing to lose really. I mean, if he gets knocked out, right? He tried at least, right? So he has no reason to play it safe other than maybe he might chicken out. I don't think he will. He shouldn't do that. He's a puncher, so you don't beat another puncher by boxing him. Thank you for that comment, Hyphy. I mean, it's a perfect chance for Yar to really show what he is worth, of course, what he's made of. I mean, even if he doesn't win, but maybe drops Beterbiev or hurts him, or more than once, which he can do, of course. Like Callum Johnson, for instance, he dropped Beterbiev. He was knocked out in the end, but he got some, respect. So I think Yar will get respect at least, even if he doesn't knock out Beterbiev. If he goes for it only, he will get respect from me anyway. If he doesn't, no respect, of course. If he tries to box and play it safe, no. He doesn't deserve respect. Yeah, Beterbiev, you know, he's a machine. He's a beast. He seems to be just too strong for anyone at 175. But you never know. I mean, if there's anyone who can really beat him by knocking him out right now at 175, well, I don't think only 2 people can. One is Callum Smith and the other one is Anthony Yarde. Callum's got that height, advantage and all that. That's not that, important, but he has that advantage also. Yeah. I mean, he's been pretty impressive in his last couple of fights. He's shown that he has that one punch power, even at 175. Yeah, as I said, Callum Smith, one of my favorite British boxers. Yes, he is. His brother Liam. Once again, I must say I was just blown away by that that victory last night. Wow, man, knockout. Possibly the first candidate for the victory of the year, and maybe even a knockout of the year, you might say. Because nobody really, I don't think anybody expected Eubank to lose by a knockout, especially not in 4 rounds. Come on. Who thought that that could happen, right? I mean, I know that the most ardent Liam Smith fans were like, oh, yeah, Liam's going to knock him out. I don't think even they expected this. So, yeah. Whether it was because Liam has improved so much or whether because Eubank is now, a damaged goods. Well, maybe a combination of both. I don't think he looked so bad, before the knockout. Eubank, he was doing pretty well. Yeah, I mean, that was like, what? Even though, when they kind of got in the ring, and, I just kind of got a feeling, I'm not lying. I just had a feeling like, maybe Eubank will get knocked out. Yeah, it was just, the victory of Beefy's career, definitely. The By far his biggest victory, by far. And even if he should lose the rematch, which I don't think he will, but even if he can retire, if he retires after that, he can retire happy, satisfied man. Even if he doesn't win another major title or anything, he's really achieved something, and something that nobody could have really expected from him. So he deserves a lot of credit. And he comes across as frankly, a nice guy, and I got nothing against Eubank himself, but he was kind of smug, doing that smug game, like like who are you? You are nothing. I am the man. Kind of what his father used to do early on. You remember what he said for the first Nigel Benn fight? He was like, "This is why I should take you out on the night of 18th of November. You are mine. You belong to me. I am the man." Well, last night your son was not the man. So just so happens. Yeah, I mean everybody was kind of shocked because Eubank has never been knocked out before, and yeah, they have that kind of smug attitude, self-satisfied, like I am the best. I'm simply the best, the best. A little fun with Chris Senior. All credit. I really admire and respect Chris Senior as a fighter, and he's a good man, definitely. Kudos to him. But as a young man, he was very, high on himself, even though he had some, right to be. But sometimes, he could take it a little too far. And also his son, you know, generally not, generally a nice guy, but sometimes, I don't like the way he grins at his opponents and stuff like that, like very provoking, self-satisfied and smug. But I guess that's the part of the game. That's the part of the game, when they make themselves feel better, stuff like that. I mean, it's hard to be a prize fighter, so I think they do that in order to, build themselves. I mean, to, how to say it, uh, encourage themselves to just, kind of gain more courage and stuff. Yeah. Well, Eubank, the thing is, he has actually failed in his toughest tests. That was against Billy Joe Saunders and George Groves, who were at that time probably the best in UK in their respective divisions. Yeah, yeah. I mean, especially after Carl Froch retired and before Count Smith, kind of, came of age. George Groves was the best super middleweight in Britain, no doubt. Very talented guy. And I remember I saw that fight when he beat Eubank. Eubank simply didn't didn't give it all. Simply, and the same happened against Saunders, if I remember correctly. Well, he was kind of confused, I think, by Saunders in that fight. In the first kind of 6, 7 rounds, then he got better, but it was too late. He won like the rest of 4 or 5 rounds, the last 4 or 5 rounds. Who do you have between Beterbiev and Yard? Yeah, I mean, of course, the most obvious is to go for a Beterbiev victory, and by knockout, of course. But as I said earlier, Yard can knock him out, definitely. Yeah, it's just thing what kind of mindset he will come with that night, if he, because he's fighting at home, in Wembley, and well, that will inspire him to really put on a great performance. If he does, then he can win, definitely. But, you know, I think he knows that now he needs to, do something, to win. If he loses this fight, then it will pretty much be, the end of his career. I mean, not perhaps the end, but, it'll be hard to get another big fight like this. That's what I think, yeah. But, yeah, to make a final prediction, I think probably Batteria will stop him. Yeah, I don't know, like 7 rounds, something like that. Maybe, I don't know. Yard is kind of tough, Yeah. An athletic guy, strong and all that. So that's what gives me the idea that he can pull it off, actually. But to favor him in this fight, well, that's another thing. I don't know, really. I won't do that. But I won't do that. Yes. I'm just really looking forward to that fight. And also we have Artem Dalakian as well, fighting again, defending the WBA flyweight crown against what's his name, Dominguez. No, sorry, the Jimenez, David Jimenez. Well, I must admit I don't follow flyweights as much as I should. I know Dalakian is a very good fighter technically, that. Not the hardest puncher, but he has volume. Volume. He's a volume puncher, yeah. And one of the East European, Europeans. So that's always nice to see for me as a East European myself, somebody that is successful in this sport professionally. Yes. Well, all right. Any more questions? I think I run out of things to talk to. Let's see if there are any more fights next weekend that are kind of interesting. No, Thailand, nothing, no. Hmm. Oh yeah, maybe we can. Did you see that Richard Riakpur and Lovatsky fight? I already talked about this, but that was in the beginning when nobody was here. Hmm. I kind of feel that Riakpur is capable of beating, Okoli and also others, somebody else like Opetaya or anybody really that holds the world title, our world title. He can become really, really good and successful. Just the way that he stopped Glovatsky, and all that kind of tells me that who is nowhere near his prime, but still, a tough, rather tough guy, doesn't fight like a chicken or anything. Yeah, so I liked what I saw, last night. We have Sergey Bohachuk versus Nathaniel Golimore. Yeah, Bohachuk, that's right. He's a pretty good, hard hitting fighter at 154. Cool. Otto Wallin has us fighting some, unknown guy, nobody. Helaman Olguin from Mexico. All right. There really aren't that many. It seems this is these two fights are the only major fights. Yeah, it's like, you know what? I think, yeah, Willie Hutchinson, Emil Markic. Interesting. Emil Markic, he's from Mostar. He's from my original home country, Bosnia Herzegovina, but he's 39 years old already. Wow, shit. He was stopped by Callum Johnson. Nice. Nice. So, Bektemir Melikuziev. I know him. I know that name anyway. Alexis Rocha. Anthony Young. All right, people. You got any more questions for me? If not, then I'll have to wrap it up. I'm afraid. Any minute now. All right. Thank you for being here and messaging. Bye bye. Peace to you, Paul. Yeah, well, it seems to be one of those days. Just not too many people here. I don't know whether it has something to do with me being here only. Hope not. And then we can talk. In the end, I want to say something about the fight that we all have waited for, which is, of course, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. There have been some silly talks about that fight happening at 154. I think that was just, BS baloney. What's the point with that? I mean, isn't this supposed to be a fight to decide who is the king of the welterweights? Come on, man. I don't get it, really. But that is, I hope not. I hope it happens at 147, Yes. I do. I think I favor Crawford in that fight because he's simply been, totally unbeatable. And I just don't see Spence beating him. Spence, who is more like he's not a tricky guy. He can be, hit and figured out by someone like Crawford. That's what I think. Yeah, definitely. Errol Spence Jr. Spence is more like, a pressure fighter. He's got decent skills, but he's more like an aggressive fighter, who goes to stop you and stuff like that, knock you out. But while on the other side, doesn't fight doesn't punch too hard, not like Virgil Ortiz. Hello, man. Yeah, Smith was amazing. Wow, that victory I just said several times. Nobody could have expected it. So to conclude this, I think Crawford probably will beat Errol Spence Jr. And because he has too much simply up in his pocket, up his sleeve, too many tricks, for Spence to overcome. Yeah. But maybe I'm wrong, of course. It might happen. All right. I'm Nathan. Huh. Yeah, Liam Smith. If he doesn't fight. So, Eubank in a rematch, then I would love to see maybe, have a rematch against Munguia, maybe, because he's already fought him in 154 and he lost, but he went the distance there. So I actually wasn't aware of that he had already fought Mongia. But now a rematch there would make sense at 160, right? I think so. And if not, then well, there are some other options, of course. Always Johnny Beck. Yeah, there's Johnny Beck. There's well, not Triple G. There is Carlos Adames. There, yeah, there are a few guys. Yeah, main event was good last night, definitely. Yeah, all right. If you have anything more to write, then do it now because I will be finishing now in a minute. So, if you have any more comments or questions, this is the time to bring them. Yeah, I'm kind of tired, but yeah, it's always a pleasure to do this. Nothing. All right, you got 10 more seconds, or 20 more seconds, and then it's bye bye. So, all right, so that will be it. I mean, if you have any more comments to write after, you can maybe write them. But yeah, all right, I think we pretty much covered everything there was of last night's boxing and next weekend also. So, to sum up, in the end, Joseph Parker didn't look good against Jack Massey, a cruiserweight. And Richard Riakporhe looked good, but against, a washed up Glovatsky. And Eko Essuman and Chris Congo had a very close fight, which Essuman got on the scorecards. And finally, Liam Smith produced a huge upset. He knocked out Chris Eubank Jr. in 4 rounds. So that will be all for this time. Next week, I'll be back with Joshua, hopefully. Yeah. And then, until then, have a good one. Bye bye.